New York City played such a beautiful part of my story and my journey, and it was such an impactful year. It will always be the place I grieved my dad, the place that I grew with you guys, the place I gained my confidence and finally like stepped into my own. Do I ever want to do it again? Hell to the fucking no. We are doing New York City today. Okay, this is like the time I went viral. I was like below Chris Brown and above Ellen. It was the best, worst time of my life. Last week we did 2019/2018 era when I did a lot of like law of attraction videos. That's kind of when I got my start on YouTube. My dad had cancer. I had just lost him. That's kind of where we left off. So starting now, we are in 2020. I started the year off really, really strong. A little bit too strong. I was so excited for it. I was making the big move to New York City. So I signed my lease, God, I think it was like in 2019 at some point. And it was for March of 2020. Perfect timing. My dad passed away March 11th, which is the day the world shut down. And I moved like 3 days after. I had decided to make the move just to get my furniture because I knew everything started closing down. It would just be such chaos because there were movers, the pod, the apartment itself, like just a whole bunch of chaos. So I was like, I'm just gonna go over there and take all my stuff out and come back. Well, I didn't come back because the world shut down. I got stuck over there. I did get my furniture the next day, which was so lucky of me, but that's like the last human interaction I had for quite a long time. I had basically a bed. I remember walking into my beautiful apartment in New York City, and it was such a dream come true because I had it on my vision board for so long. It's just like a whole bunch of things came together and I like accomplished this huge dream and goal of mine. And I remember like walking in and just like seeing how empty it was because like I got my dream and then like my dad literally was just gone overnight. And so it was the weirdest feeling. It was like, okay, you're here, but like it felt like I almost like had to sacrifice like a huge part of my life. It was just like a really weird feeling. So immediately just started bawling, crying. There was this little house that I could see, or building. I noticed this building particularly when the Yellow Submarine was playing from the Beatles, which is like such my dad's song. And it was almost like he was like, I'm right here, like I've got you. I really felt my dad so strongly in that apartment. I think being alone too, like during that time to grieve, was something I very much needed but never wanted. I just was sitting there grieving. Like that's pretty much what it was. It was the weirdest, like most isolating feeling, but it was one of the most beautiful times of my life. So I just locked in and I worked. First video I ever did was this video where I basically just told you guys what was going on because I kind of disappeared for a second. I don't want to watch it. You can watch it if you want, but it's like super triggering for me. But it's basically like when I just told everyone what happened with my dad. Then we moved to the apartment. This apartment had floor to ceiling windows like all around, and it was like in a corner unit. It was such a beautiful apartment. I cannot believe I've lived in that apartment. Like that apartment was just so stunning. It was in the worst area though, pretty sketchy area. Hello and welcome to our channel. I just look really tired.
Here is
wow.
The
oh my
apartment.
God. Brings back so many memories.
That's my kitchen.
I love that kitchen.
Isn't that amazing?
There's that
and
Yellow
then when you
Submarine
turn here,
building.
it's kind of like an alcove, so it
Oh
just
my
goes
God,
into
like
the living space. You guys look at these windows. Like I can't.
And if you could tell, like on the top, this unit in particular had like super, super high ceilings. So a lot of the units in that building didn't have that extra window space on the top. So I just got really lucky. Like I just bit the bullet and I did it. Yeah, I lived like this for like literally a year because no one was doing anything and the world got shut down, and particularly New York City was locked down for a very, very long time. Oh yeah, this one was like infamous, My Drink With Me. Probably one of the top most beautiful songs I've ever heard in my entire freaking life. Oh God, these are such good songs. Okay, I need to do another music video. This is so much fun. These are my favorite. There was something about being on the internet around this time and just everyone collectively being stuck. It was kind of oddly like the world all came together. I love you guys. I'm gonna keep jamming out to this music because I'm bored. Every time I ever drank in that apartment, I just ended up in bawling tears, like fetal position on the floor. I was like on this endless loop of the same day over and over and over, and it was hell. Like I kept waking up thinking like, we're doing it again. It's happening again. Are we ever gonna get over this? When I got that treadmill, it was done. Finally, I can move. You guys know me. Running is like a mental thing for me. Immediately gave me such a like better mindset. Yeah. Oh my God, I was on that thing all the time. Okay, so this is my trending video. Everyone was talking about the aesthetic iPhone new upgrade. You could like basically personalize it. And I just knew this was gonna be big. I was like, I just have a feeling. I woke up that morning, filmed it, edited as fast as I could, and got it up, and I've never seen anything like it before. It just racked up so many views. It was like 10,000, 20,000, 30,000. This was like within 5 minutes. And then it was like trending. Like I said, it was underneath Chris Brown, above Ellen or something. I just had that gut feeling. People say when you win the lottery, you have like a lucky feeling. Like I just knew that was gonna pop off. 13 on trending, okay. Ugh, that place was so cozy. When I got that starlight too, oh my God. I would just sit down there and watch everyone in their own little apartments. Like one person would be on a Peloton, one person would be on the computer, one person would be like cozy with their cat. And it was just like so cool to see everyone in their little apartments. I will say I did have a neighbor across from us. Like literally there were hundreds of neighbors just from your eye's point of view. But there was this one guy that would throw like house parties all the time. And this was in a time where New York City was closed. Like I think you could literally get a ticket if you had people over. Like they were really, really strict. I got in trouble one time for running without a mask on with nobody outside on the Hudson River. So that just goes to show you how strict they were. And he had like lights and there were like packed people. It was like a club in there, and I would just sit there and be like, oh my God.
I started out by asking you guys, what are some lessons that you guys have learned this year? I need to be more intentional about my mental health. Freedom should never be taken for granted. I was ungrateful for what I had. Impermanence of life. That I hate working from home. Still.
Oh, these are giving me chills.
Acceptance. Tough times don't last. Tough people do. With a little strong emoji.
Man, I also had the creative freedom to do whatever I wanted. I was so limited, which sometimes I think like, oh, I don't have this, and this, and I can't do X, Y, and Z. But I did back then. I started slowly venturing outside. Things were starting to open a little bit, and so I would like try to get on the subway and like big things. Like they're small things, they're huge for me because I was a little bubble child. I lived in my bubble my whole life in the suburbs. So the first half was just me all crying. Literally grief, crying, and apartment stuff. And then I was like, vlogmas, okay? This was like the best vlogmas I ever had. You guys, I went in on that vlogmas. I was like, I'm gonna have a theme for every video. This was when vlogmas was like the shit. I was in New York City. I was getting out of the house, and it was like such a good vlogmas. I think a lot of you guys go back and watch these, but they were definitely one of my favorite all time. Okay, and then we start getting into 2021. A lot of what you don't see behind the scenes during this time was how much doubt I had in my head with where my life was going. When you lose somebody, and I think that isolation that I had, I literally started reevaluating my life. I never thought I could be by myself, and so seeing not only I could be by myself, but I could thrive by myself showed me just how empowering of a person I could be alone. I was unhappy for a very long time in my relationship. I just never, I don't know, I was like scared. Like I said, I lived in my bubble. I had kind of a lower self-confidence. I always knew it was gonna happen. I just was like, I can't fathom the idea. Like I'm so scared. Like I was just petrified of like doing something like that drastic. I was like going back to Florida a lot. And I think you guys started noticing too that I literally came alive in Florida. Like my friends were there, my family was there. I had so many things happen to me that terrified me. The first thing I ever had was somebody almost stole my purse and cornered me in a dentist's office. And he was like drugged up, blood on his face. I remember people exposing themselves to me. I had a gun pointed at me at one time. There was a homeless guy sitting on the floor, and he was just like waving, and he's like, you, blah, blah, blah. I had people who were literally, I swear to God, like on bath salts, like not the kind of drugs where they're just zonked out. It's like they're like crazy and they're gonna bite your face off. Like there was this girl that came up to me around Bryant Park. I got a lot of this in Bryant Park. She like was like, you're gonna win, you're the blah. Whatever story she had up in her head, like I was the one that was like got to go and like she's after me. It was like terrifying. But what's even scary about that was like she was walking straight and she looked normal and she was just walking, minding her own business, and then immediately like fast like a witch like just turned and was like I saw a dead person in the subway. That was like my point of like, okay, I'm done, like I can't do this, this is not healthy. I think New York City is romanticized a lot online. If you're not in a good area, it could be really, really scary. And if you're in a good area, it could be really, really scary. So it was just the mixture of everything being on lockdown. They were talking about potentially keeping it locked down for another year at that time, and that was another sign for me to be like, okay, I need to leave, like I cannot do this anymore, where everything else was open and we were just like sitting there at home doing nothing. It just wasn't good for my mental health. I was also dealing with a skin issue that I didn't really talk a lot about, but I would always get like these hives on my chest. It ended up being a vitamin D deficiency that I found out the year later by going to a holistic doctor, and getting natural sunlight like got rid of it. So I was just like deteriorating, I think, mentally. I wasn't getting sun, I wasn't getting out. I was like, you know, by myself a lot and very isolated. But I love New York City and I love creating in New York City. To this day, New York City is like one of the best cities. I think it's beautiful. I think in terms of like a content creator and just a creator in general, like I just think it's stunning and there's so many opportunities for you. For me, I look at it more like not social opportunities or brand opportunities or money opportunities. It's just more the aesthetics and the vibe. I just really loved creating there. It was like easy to create there. I could do the New York City apartment and then go get a Florida studio, and I was thinking about hopping back and forth. And then they started saying that they were gonna keep it locked down, and I was like, I'm not paying this much money to be sitting in an apartment anymore. Like, I'm done. So I decided to go back home and break up with my ex finally. I made some pretty big pivotal moves. This was like the full like complete, I think, apartment tour. Hey guys, what's up? My name is Renee. This is my official New York City apartment tour. Oh, I love that. The wallpaper, I forgot about that wallpaper. I wanted it to be like a masculine, cozy vibe. We are at and then this giant piece of me and my dad. It's so obnoxious, but I love it so much. And then my living room. I did a really good job with that apartment, I think. Like for such a small space. It was technically called an alcove studio. So it was like you had a separate bedroom, but there was no door. There was like a little hallway. It just, I love it. This lamp just makes it so cool. The Empire State Building. This is the view. Oh yeah, I got to see the Empire State Building. It changes colors at night, and every day it's a different color depending on what's going on in the world. It's really cool. I want to show you the difference here, okay? So we'll make way into the bedroom. The transition. That was the bedroom at first, but then I got those big mirrors that acted as like another basically window, and it reflected the city, so it just really opened up the space even more. It was just so nice. So this was my last apartment tour video, and it was yeah, I did it at night because you just really, that's the best way to see this apartment. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my apartment. Look at it at night. See, it's so pretty. This part over here, and it just looks like it. I really wanted to keep so the cozy. There's my desk. I used to sit there and work. Oh my god, I'm distracted. So yeah, I have this little mirror. But I would kill for that right now. Look at that. My staple wall. I had a lot of fun with this one. I know that a lot of you guys probably are watching for inspo or motivation, and I feel like a lot of the times when I used to watch people's videos like this, I would get really down and feel discouraged because I wasn't really where I wanted to be in life. But I started with pretty much nothing, and I built my YouTube channel to attain this. I had a goal in mind, and I know a lot of you guys watching probably feel the opposite and feel somewhat of a spark of excitement because you feel like you can attain it. And let me tell you, when you have that mindset, I promise you that you'll get there. You just really have to want it and crave it and work your ass off to get it, and it's so attainable. I see so many different people in this building, and they all do so many different things, and it's really cool to see everyone, you know, attain something like this, which was a dream of mine for so long. Like, I never would have thought, if you told me a couple years ago you were gonna live in this apartment, because I knew I wanted this apartment. I actually had seen a YouTuber live in this apartment like 3 years ago, and I myself wasn't even a full-time YouTuber. Like, I was not anywhere near being able to afford this, and I just really knew what I wanted, and I worked really hard towards it, and I got it. So I hope that this encourages you guys. I hope that this shows you that dreams do come true, This isn't like daddy's money. This is not something that was handed I just wanted people to get inspired by it and not discouraged. I can see sometimes like you watch this stuff and then you turn it off and you look around and you're like not happy with your environment or people that are in your life, and like you can get into that comparison mode. But it is all attainable, I promise you it is. Like I said in that video, so many people did so many different things. Like you don't necessarily have to do what I do to get there. But if you want something, you know, bad enough, you'll make it happen. Okay, so last video. This is my last video of New York City before I moved. The last New York City vlog. Well, I didn't even know too how very last that would be. I haven't been back since. It's been, God, this was three years ago. I definitely want to go back. I just had kids and stuff, like it doesn't make sense to go there, and I was obviously going through some shit, which you'll see in the next vlog. But yeah, I just didn't realize like that would literally be like last for a very long time, which is so sad because New York City played such a beautiful part of my story and my journey, and it was such an impactful year and a half. I love New York City for that. It will always be the place I grieved my dad, the place that I grew with you guys, the place I gained my confidence and finally like stepped into my own. That year was so freaking hard. It was so hard. Do I ever want to do it again? Hell to the fucking no. But it was so beautiful in its own little, you know, moment. I had so many memories in this freaking apartment. The apartment is what really got me through. Like that's where my creative energy went to. It's just making my home. Entering outside, confident. Lots of dancing. Getting the groove of things. Haley, friends. Oh my god. You. Really got myself out of my comfort zone. Make a big move when she chops her hair, changes hair color. Big moves, big pivotal moves. Man, that is such an era in my life. Feels like so long ago, but during the time felt like forever. Yeah, I think a lot of you guys know me from that time. That's when I had the most views, some of my best content, like hands down some of my best content. And a lot of it had to do with where I was, the space I was in, being open and vulnerable, like not having anyone to answer to, and just like literally free play by myself in a freaking studio, floor to ceiling window, beautiful New York City apartment during a pandemic. Like, it's a recipe for viralness. I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching. Next week we're gonna do my single era, my little psycho era. This just keeps getting more fun and more fun. Oh my god.